What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today I'm back in the shop working on more rust repair. Last video you saw me finish up the quarter skin. Today I'm tackling this, well, I don't even know what you'd call it. Lower windshield track or deck panel extension, whatever it is. This is where the windshield attaches to. Right here is actually where you would get the seal, but it's completely gone. So I've been drilling out spot welds. I got a new panel to replace it, but first I got to get the old panel out. So I still have a couple of more spot welds to drill out. I cut out these. This is all flimsy, but we'll get that fixed and replaced. Same thing over here. This lip got its drilled out. Still got to do the spot welds along the inside here, and then this whole piece will come out. I'll replace it with that, and we'll be good to go. Other than that, I've been working with fixing some of these rust holes. And instead of cutting out all of this steel and welding in some new steel, I decided I'd try bronze brazing. And basically what you do is you heat the metal up with a map torch, get it nice and hot, and then you use a bronze rod coated with flux to basically solder in all the holes. And I've done a couple spots. I'm not finished yet, but it actually is working pretty well. Bronze does have a higher melting temperature, lower melting temperature than steel. So it doesn't necessarily have to melt the steel itself, but we do get it cherry hot in order to melt the bronze. And this should be a plenty strong repair for what this is. All this does is hold in the windshield, and it's not even the bottom that's supporting the weight. It's right here that's kind of just rusted through. So I'm not too worried about the strength right here. This is just to fill in rust holes. So that's what I'm working on today. I'll be bouncing back and forth because of my ADHD. I'll be going from this back to this, but we'll get it done. basically, in order to do this brazing, I've done a couple spots here, but I'll show you what it looks like. I'll do this little piece right here. What you want to do is use your torch to heat up the area red hot. I'm going to dip my rod in a little bit of borax I've been using as flux. And once it gets hot enough, you can see that it almost gets like a silver solder, it looks like. And it starts flowing in. The only tricky part about this is controlling the temperature to where it gets soft enough or hot enough to let the bronze start to flow. But since this is a vertical piece here, you also have to not let it get so watery that it just flows right down the piece. So you gotta kind of fine tune the temperature here. And there we go. So you can see I got a nice little puddle of bronze that completely filled in that rust hole there. You can see some of the lead started to melt out of this seam right here, so I'll have to fill that, but that's okay. But yeah, this is how I've been doing my bronze brazing to fill in these rust holes. I did some right there. I still got to do a piece right there and a little bit over here. I'm just trying this out. I'm gonna see how well it works. Once I sand it all down, it does look very nice and smooth. You don't see, I mean, the rust hole is gone. So I'm gonna give this a try. This is an alternative to cutting out and welding in new pieces. So I'm gonna keep doing this. Alright guys, quick little update on where I'm at. Got the new panel in. As you can see, I got tacks all along the top where it attaches to the speaker deck panel. Got it welded in here on the lip and underneath where the weather stripping would be for the trunk. The trunk lid weather stripping sits in here. Alright, and then I also went ahead and threw the trunk hinge brace that ties into the inner wheelhouse. So this hinge is nice and sturdy, well supported. I've got the new trunk pan just kind of sitting in here on top of the rust just so I wouldn't need another tetanus shot. I've got it welded in on this side all the way around. This panel is solid, permanently installed, all done. I have been working a little bit here and there on brazing in the rust holes. As you can see, I got these two pretty well in there. The rust did leave a bunch of divots in the steel, so it's not going to look perfect. There's still going to be a little bit of texture to it. I did a little bit of repair right here. Still a little bit of holes in here to fill in. A little bit right here. But the rest of this is fine up until you get to over there. So little by little, I'm just brazing this in, grinding it down smooth. This is mostly just to restore strength to the windshield tract, because this is where the gasket surface, the adhesive will be on this part. This will be open to the elements. There's no gasket or sealant that goes in there. This is where the molding clips attach to. So this will all be open, water will get in here, so I wanted to fill these holes in so that it wouldn't go down inside the trunk when it rains. Once I get all this bronze kind of leveled out and smooth and flush with the steel, I'll probably do like a skim coat of JB Weld just to fill it in. Again, this isn't more, it's less for structure and more to keep it weather tight so that water won't get inside the car. All right guys, so lots of work done up to this point. We finished up installing this rear deck lid extension or lower windshield track panel, whatever you want to call it. Finished brazing in some rust holes on that side. Finished brazing in all the rust here. As you can see, it ended up looking pretty nice. Nice and smooth. I got it all ground down. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm gonna lay a little bit of JB Weld on some of the rougher areas just to get the contour nice and smooth before I lay down some primer. So that's all done. this is done. A little sneak peek of what I've been doing. I got the car turned around in the garage so that I can start working here. And I've decided to repeat the process on this driver's side wheelhouse. This side really wasn't as bad as the other side, but there was rust holes in some areas where it would have been more difficult to try to patch than replace. This piece is not nearly as bad as the other side, but I do have rust holes in the bottom, specifically on the lip where it's supposed to attach to the quarter panel. So I'm gonna go ahead and rip this out too. All these pieces are in the mail, so I'm gonna do that. I don't think I'm gonna record any of it just because it's the exact same process as the other side, although hopefully this side will go a lot smoother now that I know what I'm doing. Once this is done, the only metal work that I'll have left to do is this trunk and the floor. I've got the floor panels right there. So once I'm finished with this quarter panel and all this here, I'll jump into the floors and the trunk. So just a sneak preview, that's what'll be on the next video. All that said, one step closer to being done with metal work and that much closer to final body work, paint. Super excited about that. If you guys like the content, consider subscribing to the channel, like the videos, drop a comment, and we'll see you on the next one.